Prince William did not simply leave. He walked out with a purpose so deliberate that camera operators barely had time to reframe their shots before he was gone, and Camilla, seated and composed, seemed to notice everything without reacting to any of it. That contrast alone, the calm versus the sudden movement, is why this brief moment has spread so quickly online. But before we treat a few seconds of footage as proof of anything, it's worth asking what actually happened, what has been confirmed by credible sources, and what is simply the internet's oldest habit, turning royal body language into breaking news. To make sense of a moment like this, you first have to understand the emotional architecture underneath every public interaction between William and Camilla. Their relationship did not begin in comfort. It began in the aftermath of one of the most painful chapters in modern royal history, shaped by public grief over Diana, Princess of Wales, and the difficult, often hostile public response to Charles's relationship with Camilla in the years that followed. That history did not disappear. It simply moved beneath the surface, resurfacing every time cameras catch William and Camilla in the same frame. Royal biographer Penny Junor, who has written multiple books examining the private and public dynamics of the royal family, has described William's relationship with Camilla as one that developed slowly and deliberately, built through shared family occasions rather than any single reconciliatory event. According to Junor's reporting, William's early caution around Camilla gave way over time to a more settled, even warm, family dynamic, particularly as she became a consistent presence in his adult life and eventually in the lives of his own children. That gradual evolution matters enormously when evaluating a headline suggesting a sudden, symbolic exit. It asks viewers to believe that decades of documented, incremental family adjustment could be undone in a single public gesture. Royal correspondent Nicholl, who has covered the family closely for years, has repeatedly emphasized that royal engagements are governed by tightly managed schedules, security protocols, and logistical constraints that have nothing to do with personal sentiment. A prince leaving a room is, more often than not, a matter of choreography rather than commentary. Still, the pull of this kind of story is undeniable, and it's worth examining why. Part of the answer lies in how the public continues to process Diana's legacy through William specifically. As her eldest son, and as the future king, William occupies a unique symbolic role. Every gesture he makes toward Camilla is filtered through decades of public sympathy for his mother and lingering skepticism toward the woman many once blamed for his parents' broken marriage. Robert Hardman's biography, Queen of Our Times, along with his more recent reporting on King Charles's reign, documents how that undercurrent of public feeling never fully vanished, even as the family itself moved forward. This is a tension that makes viral clips like this one so potent. They tap into an old story the public already knows by heart, one involving grief, rivalry, and reconciliation, and they invite viewers to insert a new chapter without asking whether the evidence actually supports it. A few seconds of footage becomes a stand-in for 20 years of unresolved public emotion. That is a powerful narrative device. It is not, however, journalism. What is documented, through years of consistent reporting from credible royal correspondents, is that William and Camilla have appeared together countless times at state functions, religious services, and official engagements without any confirmed report of hostility from journalists present in the room. Their public conduct has been described again and again as professional, courteous, and consistent with the expectations placed on senior working royals. Professional cooperation in an institution built on public duty does not require personal closeness, but also does not require conflict. It helps to place this moment within the broader context of what the royal family has faced over the past 2 years. King Charles's cancer diagnosis, made public in early 2024, reshaped the working structure of the monarchy almost overnight. Fewer senior royals were available to carry the weight of public engagements, and those who remained, including Camilla and William, absorbed considerably more responsibility. Around the same time, Catherine, Princess of Wales, was undergoing her own cancer treatment, gradually stepping back into public life through 2024 and into 2025 as her health allowed. Under those conditions, it would be unusual if there were no visible signs of strain anywhere within the family. Exhaustion, competing obligations, and the sheer physical toll of an institution running with reduced staffing are not the same as personal conflict, but they can look similar from a distance. especially when compressed into a 10-second clip stripped of context. Royal watchers who cover these events in person, rather than through recycled online footage, have long cautioned against reading definitive meaning into camera angles, timing, or the natural unpredictability of live events. None of this means royal relationships are free of genuine friction. Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, offer an unusually candid look at real tensions within the family, describing strained moments between various members with a level of detail rarely seen in royal literature. But even Spare, direct as it was about Harry's own experiences, did not document any specific confrontation, matching the kind of dramatic, symbolic exit currently being suggested about William and Camilla, borrowing the emotional weight of one documented family conflict and applying to an entirely different, unverified moment is a leap that responsible storytelling should avoid making. So, why does a headline like this spread so easily, even without verified sourcing? Part of the answer lies in what audiences have come to expect from royal coverage itself. Decades of tabloid narratives condition the public to look for feuds, rifts, and hidden resentments behind every royal gesture, because those stories are simpler and more emotionally satisfying than the far messier truth that most royal interactions are shaped by scheduling, protocol, fatigue, and the quiet, undramatic work of institutional duty. An abrupt departure fits neatly into decades of pre-existing narrative. A logistical explanation does not. There is also the matter of how modern royal footage travels. A short clip, often removed from its original broadcast context, can be reframed endlessly across platforms, each version adding new captions, new implications, new certainty where none existed in the original footage. By the time such a clip reaches most viewers, it has often passed through multiple retellings, each one slightly more dramatic than the last. This is not unique to William and Camilla. It has happened repeatedly throughout royal history, whenever cameras capture an ambiguous moment involving any senior royal. What remains true, based on a consistent record of credible reporting, is that William and Camilla continue to appear together at official events, that their working relationship has been described as functional and respectful by those covering it directly, and that the royal family as an institution is currently operating under real, well-documented pressure due to overlapping health crises and reduced staffing. Whether personal warmth exists behind the scenes is something the public simply cannot verify from a brief clip, however dramatic its framing may appear. Perhaps what this moment reveals most clearly is not tension between two specific people, but the public's enduring difficulty separating royal reporting from royal mythology. The monarchy survives, in part, because of meaning the public continues to project onto its every gesture. A glance, a seating arrangement, a hurried exit. Each becomes a symbol, whether or not it was ever intended as one. That symbolism is part of what makes royal coverage so compelling, but it is also what makes it so easy to distort. In the end, this is not really a story about a single dramatic exit. It is a story about how quickly modern audiences feel uncertainty with narrative and how eager we remain, even decades after Diana's death, to read every royal interaction as a chapter in an unfinished emotional saga. William and Camilla's relationship, shaped by loss, patience, and years of quiet adjustment under public scrutiny, deserves more nuance than a viral headline could offer. The real story here may not be about what happened in that room at all, but about how much of royal history is written not by the family itself, but by the public's own need to believe in a story far more dramatic than the truth usually turns out to be.